Hello and welcome to Wednesday webinar. Tonight, in between slides and listening to me, we'll have some great shots of Beachmere. Tonight I'd like to talk to you about the difference between buying a $500,000 home and a $700,000 home. It's mainly directed at people buying a home for themselves, but I'm sure there'll be a few tidbits in there for property investors. Back when I was younger, much younger, interest rates were very high and stamp duty was very low. In fact, with my first home, I didn't even think about how much the stamp duty was. That just came out of next month's pay packet. So what is it now? A year's savings. And back in the day when I bought my first home, of course interest rates were so high you tended to just get the bare minimum size home that you needed because you didn't want to be paying interest on something you weren't using. So you bought the bare minimum house, not paying for any more space than you needed, and later on when your family grew, you'd move into a bigger house that suited you, meantime having saved up some money to make that gap up. And that was logical because you were saving interest during that time and the cost of buying and selling a house wasn't that great. Nowadays, you're looking at just stamp duty on a $500,000 home is about $17,000, and then you've got another $10,000 in real estate agents' fees to sell that home and upgrade to the new home. And interest rates are so low. So if you look at the information we have here, you can see that possibly there is an argument for buying a house that costs $700,000 instead of $500,000. And like if you're in Sydney, it probably won't get you much at all. But it's, you know, the information is there on the net to go in and work this out for yourself. So as you can see from the second slide we have here, the interest for a year on $200,000 is only $9,000 if interest rates are 4.5%. Now, I don't want you to fear too much about interest rates going up. You should have inflation before interest rates go up, so you've already gone up a lot in value in your own home anyway. So the more valuable property you hold, the better it is if they all move up. So again, that shouldn't deter you from borrowing the money. So if you were to sell and buy a new house in only 3 years' time, you're really spending on stamp duty and selling costs what you would have paid in extra interest to hold a loan for $200,000 more, and you would not have had to pay all the moving costs. So I know they say young people these days, they want everything right from the start, the best home and that. Well, it is. Stamp duty has pushed us into that you need to set yourself up and move as infrequently as possible. Now you might think, oh yes, but I'll buy a smaller house and then when I move out, I'll make it a rental. So I haven't really wasted my stamp duty costs and I don't have any selling costs. Well, if you're going to do that, please be careful not to pay anything off the principal, because put it in an offset account and then you can take the money out of the offset to buy the next property, use that as a deposit there, because you're only going to get a deduction for interest on a loan that's used to buy the income producing property. So you need to keep the loan as high as possible on the house that you're eventually going to rent out. If you put the money in the offset account, it's going to reduce the interest while you're there anyway, so it has the same effect as principal repayments, but it gives you that flexibility to move on. Well, I hope you found that useful, and thank you for staying with me.